Hello, everybody. It's Craig from 9 Volt Games, and I stuttered a little bit. And today we're going to talk about Silent Hill F. There's going to be spoilers in here, so go away. I have a spoiler-free review, which you can check out, which, like, nobody checked out, by the way. I wonder why. I wonder why I have such low views but such high likes. Anyway, I think I did enough for the little preview to go away, so we can start talking about spoilers. Here's one thing that I've been noticing. What a horrible spot for that. Here's one thing that I've been noticing on here is that people are looking for depth in this game where there's not. Don't get me wrong. This game is extremely deep the more that you play it. But a lot of the things, like I saw a video that was a half hour long and it was like Silent Hill F monsters explained. So let's talk about monsters first, because the way that I'm going to do these videos is I don't have the knowledge that I have of the other Silent Hill games like I do, like I do with 2. I don't have that. So I have to keep playing it and then make videos as we go. So today I would like to we'll talk about monsters. We'll talk about what I believe is going to be the most common ending. And then we're going to talk about Hinako, Shu, Rinko. I'm going to leave Sakuko out for now because there's more with her that I want to talk about with a different ending in a different video. So right now it would just be Hinako, Hinako, Shu, Rinko, and Kotoyuki. If you don't know who Kotoyuki is, here's where the spoilers start. Kotoyuki is the guy that Hinako was set to wed in the arranged marriage. He's also Fox Mask. Okay. I figured out in my first playthrough even before she cut off her arm, which that's going to be part of what we talk about today, because I want to talk about the relationship between Shu, Hinako, and Kotoyuki, and then Rinko is obviously off on the side. I want to slap that bitch. But the more that I play it, the less I actually want to smack her. So we'll get into it with that. One other thing that people are confused about and I don't understand is, what does the F mean? The F is a symbol used for various things. That F is probably most commonly what people see it in who aren't engineer brain is going to be music. Because it means forte, right? Fortissimo, whatever. It means loud. So I don't think it stands for that, because Silent Hill loud doesn't make sense unless you're talking about how the combat got ramped up. Those gauntlets, man. No, that F, which is actually a Latin F, stands in place for the word function in math. I use this every day in my work. And since the function is dependent on variable, like is a dependent variable, your input is what the output's going to be. There's a lot of things that you do in this game that change not only your ending, but the way that the story plays out for you. I'm pretty sure it means function. It's not a numbered entry. As far as I know, this is not, I don't even know what's canon anymore, but this is not like a canon, this is going to work into, this happened way before Silent Hill 1. It could have, though. The way that they set it up, it could have. No, it's more of the common ending that I believe everyone's going to get is the first time that you encounter Shu outside of the candy store. He's going to give you the red capsules, and you find those red capsules all over town, usually involving some kind of, I'm going to say memory, but event that involves Shu. If you take those pills all the way to the end, it gives you the ending where Hinako is 20 years old. She killed her parents, and I assume Kotoyuki, because it said there was 2 men and one woman that were found dead, and the girl was in a bride's dress because it was her wedding day. If you don't take the capsules, you don't get that ending. In fact, if you can make it up to right before you're home, I want to say the worship shrine where you have to kill the worship shrine where you have to kill your friends. If you get to that point immediately after, you'll get a trophy for not taking any of the capsules. It changes your ending effectively. In fact, I went out of my way to discard, not even keep these in my inventory, the first one you get, and then pick up none of the other ones. So that's the whole input to output thing. Now, that's the F. Okay? For fucking, come on, guys. Why are you wasting a half hour? The monsters, I think, are probably the most straightforward for interpretation than any of the other Silent Hills. This is the only part of the game that I think doesn't have depth, but it's the only part of the game that doesn't need the depth. Here's why. Any of the male monsters are gross, right? They're either the wart fucking groper looking dude who grabs you and then licks you, and he makes sounds like a dog when you hit him. He whimpers like a dog and he growls at you. There's two variations of that. There's a shackled one in the altar area where you're doing the fucking panel puzzle. Ugh, that's a nightmare. Anxiety. And then there's the glowing ones, the glowing monsters. They don't even have elaborate names. There's the big ogre looking dude who, once you play through the game and you end up killing Hinako's dad, he's just a bigger version of that. So her dad was the archetype for the way that she sees men. Except for the gross ones, which you can find notes about men being grabby. The notes change the more you play the game, by the way. You can get more of notes, or you can get more letters or more pages to something. And all the women enemies look like dolls. All of them. Even the child pyramid one, I don't remember the name of the enemy. I gotta commit all these to memory. But that particular one is the only one I think that has depth in the meaning of it, because the other ones are doll parts, with usually a happy mask over their face, which falls off when you kill them, by the way. And those are symbolic in the form of, if you look at every magazine that you can, and even posters and stuff throughout the game, just the random bullshit, it's usually about how a woman needs to be, how a woman needs to look her best, how a woman isn't complete until she feels loved. That's a big one. You see that one in your first playthrough. My second playthrough, I noticed way more magazines about the way that a woman is supposed to be throughout the game. So that's how I know that I'm heading for the wedding, like the neutral wedding ending. But yeah, so it's just how she views men, and then her enemy type for women is how, she thinks society views women as pretty much dolls that have to keep a fucking smile on their face and look perfect at all times. So I get that one. The pyramid ones, there's two different variations. Those are usually the heads of Hinako and her friends mushed in there. It depends on which variant you get. But whenever you hit them, they huddle down and they fucking scream, and it pierces your ears. And that enemy's depth, I think, goes into what the whole story is. So I should probably put time markers on here. Hinako is not a teenage girl, right? By the end of the game, you know that she's 20. It's her wedding day. All this shit's made up in her head. The more you play it, or at least the more I play it, the more I realize these things are in her head, but I think these are conversations that she's having before her wedding, and it's gonna, how you handle the conversations or the actions that you take in the game dictate how she's gonna handle her fucking wedding day, except for the UFO and dog ending mushed together. Sorry. It all has to do with her wedding. So this whole overarching story, I could see she needs to go over inner child. I don't believe she killed her friends, right? I don't think she really killed her friends. It was more symbolic of, I have to kill off everything I was, right? She had to kill her friends, aka the two friends that she got rid of. Sakugo died early and wasn't even part of this whole worship shrine thing, because if you read her story, she got really into caring for her family's lineage shrine, the one that's in the back of her house. And you fight the boss version of her, and then after that, when you're going back to get the collectibles to put on the altars for the ancient sword, you can see her post-boss fight dancing around and then just fucking exploding. So I think her dying early and kind of, I mean, she had an off-screen death. I mean, at first when I played it, I thought Hinako beat the shit out of her with a steel pipe and then dragged her back into the into the candy store. But then I started to realize I think she died off early because she disappeared from their friend group before the whole relationship part with Hinako, with Rinko and Shu and Hinako, the love triangle that didn't exist. She was out of it. So since Shu was her best friend, she would have stayed with him all the way up until it was time for her to leave. And since Rinko has an obsession with Shu, an obsession with not wanting Hinako around Shu alone, she would never leave her alone. So those are the two friends that she would have around the most, regardless of whether she considers Rinko a friend or not. Right? That's why she had to kill both of them. And then she literally had to cut off her arm and get rid of her identity in order to get married. That's the way that weddings were. That's how marriage was in Japan for a long time. You pretty much just get taken away from your family. You take the surname of your new family, and that's your family. And you can see some of this with her sister Junko. If you read about Hinako's feelings towards her sister getting married, about how they were close and they were best friends, and then all of a sudden, when she got married, you couldn't recognize her anymore, which is why she's wearing the mask when you see her in the other world. Man, there is so much going on in this game, and I loved it. I love it. So here's the deal. I haven't beat the game to get every ending myself. However, the joys of having this fucking YouTube channel has made it so people ruin games for me almost immediately. I avoided social media until I at least beat this game once so that no one could ruin a fucking thing for me. I wouldn't watch any videos about it. I wouldn't, nothing. So, I forgot why I said that now. I got real excited. Oh, so I know what every ending is. I haven't gone and watched them, but I've had people give me broken versions of what they've experienced trying to spoil it for me. So, after I'm on my New Game Plus and I'm getting ready to make videos, I got base knowledge of all the endings. I'm not going to go watch them. I'm going to earn them. I'm not going to watch the cutscenes that you get, because when you beat it and you go into a new arc, your cutscenes do change. It does tell you that. I'm not going to go watch any of those. Just the literary versions. So I do know which one. I know which endings and how to get them now. Pretty much. The only things I didn't look up is I'm not looking up puzzle solutions, and I'm not looking up, like I said, specific cutscenes. I didn't look up anybody's information because I'm afraid that too much will be ruined for me. So I'm going purely off of memory with the characters. So hopefully I got that well. I'm elaborating on this because I'm not getting the ending where Hinako decides she wants to be with Shu. But I know that ending exists. I know that ending exists in a good way, where Kyoto is pretty much, I don't know why I said that. Kotoyuki is pretty much like, I want you happy, I care about you, blah, blah, blah. And then the other endings, you can see that the ending that I'm going for right now is Shu basically saying that he's letting her go. He just wants her to be happy, and she's sitting there crying. There's another one of that where it kind of seems like the first time you play it, like she's being hypnotized into following Fox Mask or Kotoyuki. And then the more that you understand that she was put up as an arranged wife to settle her dad's debt, it's kind of like, oh, this guy probably is gross. He's probably a monster. And that's the way that she would see him, as like, oh, you want to join one of us in our weird shit? You got to be like us. And the more you understand their relationship, because I thought that he was I thought he was a groomer. I thought so many, let me tell you what I thought first when I was playing the game. I'm so glad I didn't make a video because I was so off. I thought she killed her friend with the steel pipe right in the beginning. I thought she legitimately set Rinko on fire for pushing her down the stairs. I thought that The very obvious love that Shu felt for her, and the fact that she kind of is just disgusted by men in that way, or at least that's the vibe that's given off. He hung himself, and then I thought she killed her parents. So this whole time I'm like, man, Hinako's a piece of shit. She's not. She's the biggest victim out of pretty much any, except arguably Angela. She's the biggest victim out of definitely any of the protagonists, because she's the only victim up until the end. But her journey going through it. So I thought all this horrible shit. I was way off base. I did figure out that she was the fog monster like almost immediately. That there's things in it when I say they like it's obvious to the point where it's like playing in your face, you know. There's no real big twists. And the reason that I was so off base the first time I was playing it and I was stabbing and taking guesses at things is because I'm so used to the twists. They're not in here. Everything is straightforward for you. So the in-depth videos about the monster designs, it's fucking pointless. It's pointless stuff. It's fun to talk about it, but it's pointless to go super in depth about something that needs to go in depth. The relationships between the characters and how it plays out on screen is the true meat to that. So, I don't know. I get real excited about this shit. So Hinako is a victim until the end, depending on what her choice is by your actions. She kills her parents. Yeah, she's whatever. But let's go back now that I said all that shit I didn't need to. I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes. That's not gonna happen. What was it saying? So Hinako is a victim. Shu is kind of a piece of shit because he knowingly was giving his friend a drug with hallucinogenic properties, which that is going to be its own entire video, by the way, because that does connect all the Silent Hills that count together. So we'll do a whole video about the white chrysanthemum, whatever the fuck they are. I was rubbing my eyes. So we'll do a my face. We'll do a whole video about that. But Shu was knowingly giving her drugs for her headaches. It wasn't Tylenol, and it wasn't spreading autism. Every time I get a chance to do that, I will. And it's obviously what is the drug-fueled rage that caused it. So he's not exactly an innocent person. And Rinko pushed her down the stairs. Again, I think all of this is memory mixed with conversations that are being had on the wedding day. I don't know if Rinko actually pushed her down the stairs, but I'm 100% sure that girl fucking treated her like that. I grew up around people like that. I have a lot of sisters. I know a lot of people like that. So, I mean, she was mean. I don't think she deserved to be tortured if she was a kid being mean, but there was one point when she's in the cage, and I forgot to put this in my video. If you walk into a room and there's dialogue, leave for a little while and come back and you might have new dialogue, because I fucked up a puzzle and I ended up running past her again and she said something different. And it was kind of indicative of she's not real. And she knows whatever scenario she's in is not real. And she wants out of Hinako's world. She said that the second time I played. She didn't say that the first time I played it. And the second time I played it, when Shu died, he didn't care. He was pretty nonchalant, like, I'm happy with your choice. But he was kind of like reserved to it. Like he knew what this was, which kind of builds in there. There's a loop system in this game. Junko tells you. She tells you that, you have a chance to fix this, but you have to fix this. And then, the first time I did it, every fucking time. I don't know what that was. All my animals are right here. Whatever. I'm gonna get murdered. Hopefully I can finish this video first. Anyways, The first time through, Junko said, Did you kill that monster yet? Because even if we're blood relatives, if you don't, I won't hesitate to kill you. Right. And then you find out she is a fog monster. So you basically, are you going to be this, or are you going to stay back to being a kid? And by the way, that's she's wearing pretty much bridal garb as the fog monster. I love that shit. It's just that kind of bummed me out because that wasn't a twist. Like, I knew it. I knew that shit right away. I was like, it's her. It's obviously her. This girl's gonna get married. Like, it's. I think in my spoiler-free review, I said multiple times, read everything, because you know that she was in an arranged marriage. I know what that woman's wearing is indicative of a bridal dress in Japan around the time, and the whole head garb and all that shit. And I was like, this girl's going on a rampage. I just didn't know why at the time. I thought she was gonna start wiping out everyone in her village. I thought that's what was gonna happen again. Stupid. But the more I learn about these characters, the different I feel about them. Which is why I put on my social medias that we're gonna have to do this in parts, because I need to see the other endings and I need to see the other cutscenes and not just what I read. About the story. But as it stands right now, I do want to have a little rant here. I don't like all of the Silent Hill videos that have been popping up recently that are narrated by AI. What the fuck? What the fuck is that? Don't support that shit, by the way. That's horrible. I don't remember why I started saying that. Anyways, this is video 1. If I think of more stuff, I'll make a video 2. But as it stands right now, the way that I feel about the characters, I don't think I finished saying what I wanted to say. Hinako is a victim. Hinako is a victim past the obvious ending, which I think will be as common as the in water ending. I really would like that to be the canon ending, the one where she goes on a fucking rampage, because she kind of earned it. She earned it. She's rugged as fuck. I think that part of it that I'm not even going to argue with people about this. This whole fucking game takes place in one day on her wedding day, or maybe 2 days, where she's having conversations with all these people. I'm not going to argue with people on that. I might argue with myself in a future video, but as of right now, I'm taking it as that this is what this is, because she's not a teenager. But she's refusing to let go of the things from when she was a kid, because she doesn't believe in the marriage that she's doing or being forced to do. But at the same time, her and Kotoyuki have been writing back and forth to each other that she has some kind of feelings for him, which is why you have the split, and she's so willing to go with him. So this girl's on the fence on her wedding day on either she's gonna marry this guy, she's gonna leave with Shu, or she's gonna fucking murder people. And that's it. And the variable is your input is what is going to be the output of the game. I think they did a splendid job on this game. And the fact that every time I've been playing it, I got 35 to 37 hours on it right now. And the fact that I keep getting hit with new knowledge every time I play, just something little I can pick up and it's totally irrelevant. I have one that I want to share, but it's a whole thing. It's a spoiler. Maybe it's not part of the main story, but it's something cool you can find. And I don't want to post the cool shit that I can find for people. Because I really want you guys to find this shit on your own. I hope everyone's enjoying the game. Like I said, I know what every ending is, so if you want to talk about whatever in here, you're not going to ruin anything for me. I'm not going to get upset by it. The only thing I'm going to tell you is, don't tell me this game sucks, because that means you're one of the people that came way late to the party, pretended that you like this series forever, and the game doesn't suck, you just suck at it. Plain and simple. This game is Silent Hill to the fucking core. It is exactly exactly what I wanted after Silent Hill 2. I wanted everyone to have a standalone story that's going through their own personal hell, but instead, as much as I love 3, they had to fucking connect it to the cult in the first game, and they couldn't just let it be a new person. I mean, even Henry. The only thing about Henry is he didn't have anything that he was being punished for. I'm going into the wrong Silent Hills. Thank you guys for watching. I will do another video probably before the end of this week. I want to talk about what's in those pills. And I want to talk about the red liquid. And I want to talk about the white chrism and how all this shit is connected in all the Silent Hills. So even if they didn't want this game to be canon and just kind of like its own thing, like DMC for Devil May Cry, which everyone's upset because they think it ruined your mainline series, this is not Silent Hill 5, okay? It's okay. It's okay to enjoy it for what it is, and it's fucking amazing, and it's more of a Silent Hill game than anything that came after 4. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.